miny, meeny, mo. I see you girls, but I can't choose one. Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo. I got a job, and I'm never done. Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo. I love you girl, but I can't keep one. Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo. I can't choose one no matter what.
Grab a tiger by the toe, let that kitty cat know we bout to beat it up. The drunken master perfected the tiger sip, and he picks a lioness. These kittens wanna trip. Reply, we can party here. I got the chips. Where's the dip? Skill Kid can teach you some new slang and a sword style divine as the Wu-Tang. PHS introducing that new bang, proclaim the ding.
Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo. I see you girls, but I can't choose one. Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo.
I got a job and I'm never done.
Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo.
I love you, girl, but I can't keep one.
Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo.
I can't choose one no matter what.
I guess we gon' pull out the ripsticks. Pretty yellow girl with red lipstick, baby. I gotta do my chain, commence to do my thing.
What do you think women expect of men before getting into relationships? Like, what do you think they expect to see a man as a suitable partner or potential?
Well, in my experience, most of the time, I feel like a woman, when she looks at a man, she judges him by, I want to say, 3 things. Does he have a job? Does he have a car? And the third, I would say, does he have his own place? Mainly, it's not even necessarily about him being specifically by himself, but not with a parent figure or something over him.
A codependent.
Yeah.
Basically, a whole bunch of freak.
Yeah.
Those are things I feel like a woman really judges a man on. Like, I feel like a man can get by if he has 2 out of the 3.
Mhm.
But it depends on what the 2 out of the 3 are. Like, if you have a car and a home, that's kind of weird.
How you got that without a job?
How you got that without a job?
Yeah.
No.
That's
because-
the best question.
See,
You
no,
might
see,
have
that
a
was
job.
question because the job doesn't necessarily have to be legit.
Nope.
So,
Or he could just have that type of family.
yeah, or he could just have that type of family connection. If you have a job and a home, might not have a car.
I mean, for some people, a car is a deal breaker.
It
I
really
hear a lot of
is.
women saying, "I mean, people know, man, he ain't got a car. He ain't a real man if he ain't got a car. Real man if he ain't got a car." But
You ain't got a
okay,
car.
you're a real one.
I mean, isn't a car convenient though? Like, how can you expect to date another woman and not have a car at some point? Like, it's not a necessity, I guess, but like, it is very convenient.
I guess you should build up your city's infrastructure and make you have better public transportation. That's what you should work
I do
on.
agree
So
that
you would
dating.
subject a woman to public transportation?
I agree that dating would be like dating in
Our
the
great
sense
hero,
of,
Rosa Parks, was on the bus.
Right.
Okay.
To this
That's
day, I
'cause
see
she
more
didn't have a
women
job.
on the
Too
bus.
good for it.
You should have got a driver's
And also,
license.
but what makes him too good to ride the bus?
The thing is about the buses thing.
that's not the point though.
What makes him too good
The
to
thing
ride the
is-
bus?
Waking up is dangerous.
Our women, don't you think that our women deserve more than just having to, especially if you want to date them? What do you have to offer other than your penis?
What do they have to offer other than their vagina?
Because that's where this is going.
Because
See,
well,
no,
here's the thing is,
no.
we
No,
approach
listen,
them.
listen.
They don't come to us off as
I was
Us
about
normal.
to say.
No, and with the exception of Carl and Stan and the occasional Marcus, never you.
Never
But never you. But we don't, as generally speaking, we approach them. So if they came on us, then I can understand the ball is in their court to it. But women, they are approached by us. We come to them, generally speaking. So even in the animal kingdom, you don't just approach the motherfucking women and be like, yeah, you should fuck with me just based off my personality.
You have to
No, what do you
have to impress them.
impress them?
You have to show them that you're worth their time, pretty much.
And manifested in 2000 and
This is exactly why I'm terrible for relationships, because I ain't impressing you with shit. Fuck you. Who are you?
Well, I understand the
Wait, hold on. At the same time, it doesn't necessarily have to be about what you have, because depending on the woman, it could be about your personality. It could be the type of person you are in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be about.
It is rarely
what you have.
That is rarely.
No, you're right. It's really the case, but the situation is still there. There's times where, like, it's been situations where I ain't had nothing, but I still pull this woman because of my personality, just alone.
He's a very charming
just
man.
because I was able to show her who I was. I had the opportunity to
And
let
you know
her
what?
know
That
who I
does
was.
give you a shoe in, and that does give you leeway, and that does give.
Not to say they wouldn't push you towards that situation or
but
to push you to be
over
better.
time, a lot of women, even in that, if you don't have those certain material things that they can manifest and their tangible reasons to stay with you, it's a countdown to how long.
Yeah, like I said, like I was about to say, there's no. It's not like they wouldn't push you towards it or whatnot. But, you know,
11:26.
I ain't got too much long time left. That's what time it is.
Right. So in that aspect, what are you saying? Like, the woman that you dating, does she have any expectations of you to have certain things, material things, as not necessarily all material is bad, but
no expectations.
Did she ever?
Okay, I got
not really. I mean, the expectation for me is to pursue my own dreams, not to necessarily go by other people's standards. That's the expectation that I have on me, and I mean, that's by my pace.
But how does she feel about that? Because you still want to be with her, and y'all.
She has her own dreams. She'll go get her, so she don't have to depend on me.
She does have to depend on you, but she's still in a relationship with you.
Yeah.
So how does she view you in that aspect? How long y'all been dating?
6 years.
Has she ever, wanted you to get a job or a car? Has she ever?
For myself, yes.
For yourself. It had nothing to do with her own personal interest.
No, because she got that shit for herself.
But if y'all going to be together, you don't think that a man should have something of course, for himself. But if a woman wants even something for himself,
I mean, by all means, I'm there for her. Yes, and we are there for each other. It's a give and take for both parties. It's not, hey, I am the man and I need to have this, that, and the other. What you got? Why do I need to have all of these things and you don't have anything?
Okay, I touched on that point. The reason why being so is if you get into a situation, like, obviously your situation is not like this, but in that case, it'd be like, okay, well, the woman's like, I have this, and that. The reason I want you to have this, and that is so I don't feel like I'm taking care of you. So I don't feel like you have to depend on me for this, and that. Like, all right, I have all these things. Why can I look at you and be like, all right, I have to do this for you, I have to do that for you, I have to do this for you, when you should be able to do that for yourself.
Yeah, I take care of myself.
Yeah, I understand that. Like I said, it's not your situation specifically, but that's the way women look at it.
Your woman, she never had to do a lot of things for you financially, or when y'all go out, or
she doesn't. She does what she wants to do.
But you never require it.
Nah, bitch, you better. you better pay up right now.
When it comes to the whole providing aspect, why do girls get jobs right now? Going by what you're saying, so like, say she wanted a new car, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go out and get a job. Like, no, I just got.
No, because realistically, you have to be able to be like the way people look at it nowadays. It's like, all right, women are like, I'm gonna go get this guy because I want him to take care of me. No, it shouldn't be like that. It should be y'all should be able to come in equal terms. Like women women go out, they have their jobs so they can have their own. Because realistically, if I have all this stuff, why do I want to fuck with you if you don't have nothing? That means I'm taking care of you. It goes both ways. Like, I don't want to have to take care of you like that.
Let's not to forget to mention that this is a system that capitalism kind of pushes onto us, because without capitalism, relationships really wouldn't focus on those things so heavily.
Yeah.
We'd be like, hey man, how was you doing today? Nothing, chilling.
No, like,
I went and got some berries.
You didn't work today?
I went and got some berries. What you mean?
The only expectation I have is really just being equally contributing partners to the relationship most of the time. I don't expect perfection.
Right, like I
But
don't
I at least
expect
expect
you
us
to
to
be there
work together.
100%. But like there'd be times like if I got you, you got me.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
You want to be with someone stable enough to be able to work with you when times are good, and then you can lean on each other when times are bad.
Right.
Either way.
Yeah, by no means. I'm saying
Individually,
like,
let me ask all of y'all. You, Carl, does a woman have to have a job to fuck with you?
No.
Does a woman have to have a job to fuck with you?
A fucking course.
All right. We'll get to that in a minute. Just to get a survey. Does a woman have to have a job to fuck with you?
My answer's no.
So I will get to that.
There's not a yes or no.
For you, Stan, does a woman have to have a job to mess with you? Talk to you.
does she have to have a job?
To fuck with you.
Like I mean, people can be in between any place. So
That's
no.
what my answer's coming.
Yeah, like
Can I add something
shit
to my-
happens. You know, you can lose a job. No, not really.
Can I add something to my answer?
People will give you time limits on you need a job. People will be like, oh, you lost your job, you don't find another job in 2 weeks.
All right, all right, let me add all those same questions. Does she have to have a car to fuck?
No,
Absolutely
Not at all.
No,
I don't even
not at
fuck.
all.
Be nice.
I don't care if
No.
she has car. It'd be convenient, but no.
But for the first thing, she at least has to have ambition.
Right, like that's what my
She
answer
can't be like
complicated.
she can't just be like slacking ass. You know what I
You
mean?
can't
can't
be-
just
you
be like,
can't be
oh,
open
I'm just
on
gonna lean on
Right.
you. No, if you're like out here, you're actually like, if I meet you at the point in
Or
time
she can at
you
least
don't
help me.
have a job,
She can't be
but
holding
you're
on
working towards it, or you're trying to do something
Yeah.
of that sort. Fine, I can work with you. You
Exactly.
know, if you're just like, oh no, I'm just gonna lean on you and you just gonna support
Or at
me,
least
you
she's
gonna
like-
be my
because the
job.
Bible says
Hell no.
hoes don't get shit.
I think that was in Proverbs or nigga verbs 151.
Damn, think of her.
Right.
It's in the Apocrypha. I was removed.
My goodness.
All right.
Right before hoes be
They do. But anyway.
And that's right after hoes aren't loyal. But y'all saying that unanimously she doesn't have to have a car.
No.
Now, how do you feel if a woman says you have to have a car or at least your own spot? This age that we go around like
Having your own house is understandable.
Yes, that is very understandable. I was just about to say. Very understandable to have
I
your
mean,
own
our
space.
age, yeah, it's like, I'm not to say everyone should have their own spot, but it's more or less generally accepted for someone at our age to be in their own spot, or at least be like, oh, I have a roommate or something of the sort.
It shows security and, you know,
It shows that you're not dependent on somebody else.
right, exactly, yes.
I can really understand that. That's,
Come here, realistically, how could they look at you and be like, oh yeah, I want you to be that person, but you know, can't be responsible enough to have your own.
But
At least something of your
what I will say is, financially speaking and culturally speaking, there are cultures where people live with their parents till they get married and then they'll move out. Or there are people who live with their parents when they get married, stay with their parents. Their parents, the entire family will raise them up money so that they can get their own place, and then they move out.
Yeah, and then they have
That
to
is
start.
an economic practice that is superior to what a lot of people practice, and it just makes so much sense.
Or even then,
Why do you financially cripple yourself?
if somebody were to ask, like, didn't, but I also has the financial to actually get my own place, feel like it.
right.
At any point in time, I could just be like, oh, fuck it, I'm out.
And if you prove to be somebody worthy enough to move into a place with,
No,
then I can
fuck
say,
that.
no, I'm
Just by
saying,
myself.
even by yourself. But if the person is, why do I need to move out for you? Out of my situation for you, what are you proving to me? You need to prove to me that there's a reason why I need to be out on my own or with you, or whatever the case may be.
So
Just
she called you back. That was
Like, she
Hell
gave
no.
you that shout.
Hell no.
She gave you that holler.
Dating people with kids.
that. Now,
I love kids.
think about it.
Me too, but I find myself in an interesting position where when I start thinking about it, I'm on the fence.
I don't care. I like kids.
Me too, but like I said, like when I start thinking about it,
I
I'm
don't
on the
really
fence.
have a
You
problem.
like kids until they grow up.
Like, I don't really have a
Well,
problem
kids
with
like-
I mean, they ain't kids. They're adults.
a woman dating.
That- but you gotta
woman has
realize
kids
that that's-
involved.
That's where they're going to. They're
When it
going
comes
to
to me, it's
I mean, I
Teenagers.
still interact with them. I ain't mean. I ain't rude.
Of course,
how you
but
doing?
here's the thing though. It's not necessarily the kids that's the problem.
Yeah, it's
Because
the
I've been
parents.
there.
It's the dad or it's the dad.
It's the other part.
It's not even
parent.
that.
One of the parents.
It's
grandparents.
multiple
Yeah.
things. It's a lot of things to consider.
The way I look at it, right? When it comes to women with kids, it's about how many you have, first and foremost.
Mhm.
I ain't take care of everything.
Like for me, I would deal with 2 at the most. If you got more than 2 kids, you've been out here doing some things, and I got questions.
Ooh.
Now,
Get married.
coulda, that's question. Like I said, I have questions.
Right.
But most of the part, it goes with it'd be about how many kids you have. All right, fine, we're past that point.
Bloody kids.
After that, it's like, okay, what do you expect from me? And another thing that most people don't realize when they go into situations with women that have kids is you're not just talking to that woman. You're talking to that woman and her kids. Like, you can't be like, oh, you can't treat a woman with kids like she's single, because at the same time, you're not going to get the attention
You trying to
get
go
from a
out
single
tonight,
woman.
yo?
Right.
Because that's just not going to happen.
No.
Because she has kids. She
And a
had
whole
her
nother
first
set of
responsibility, first and foremost,
Yeah.
is to those children.
Unless she be married, she always
And-
going out all the
Yeah,
time.
then I can't fuck with you. Like, if you're a
That
mother,
that shit
if you're a
irks
woman
me.
with children, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put my kid in the daycare so I can go kick with you.
People
I'm
who
done.
are unnecessarily mean to kids, who just like always tell them to shut the fuck, always tell them to sit down, yanking them up like, I understand kids are hyper, but if you doing that shit to your kid all the time, that's why your kid hyper, because he can't spend none of that shit.
I have a question for you, Marcus. Would you date a woman with kids?
Anymore? Hell no.
You've been through that.
Yes.
Tell me about
I'm like, it was cool at first. Then it killed me. It's fuck.
Yeah, and that one kid ruined it all.
It's like, oh yeah, okay, oh no, it's cool. She's drawing on my car. Oh, you're not gonna let her? Okay, don't stop her.
that. Hey, it's kids being kids.
It's been fucking kids.
What about dating men with kids?
A single baby father is a selling point. Ooh, he take care of his kids.
You would think.
I'm just
You
saying.
would think that will receive more accolades, but I've known women say, you know what, I wouldn't fuck. Like one of my exes, I'm not gonna put her name out there, but I was just asking this as a hypothetical. It's like I wouldn't mess with a guy who was a single father or had a child. And I'm like, in this world, in this cesspool of lust and abandonment, that should be the guy you should latch on to.
Yeah, gonna
Right.
take
Well,
care of
it
his
depends.
kids.
He showed you that he not only
but at the
is
same
willing to
time,
take
you can
on
look at a single father, or like as a single father, you don't necessarily. It doesn't always necessarily have to be. Oh yeah, I have you have a dude. He has kids, but he's still a single father because he's not out here messing with nobody. He's taking care of his kids, and whatnot. His baby mother might still be in the picture, but she's not.
He has
The child
his
is
main
living.
concern.
He has
Yeah.
custody.
He has custody.
And then for like the father to have custody, like you have to also think about it. Like there's only probably 2 right now that the father will actually have custody. It
Oh,
would
okay.
be like legally, or there was a death.
Hold on. There is one other thing. Girls are spoiled brats. Oh, girls. But girls are spoiled brats. That attention. Attention is an issue in relationships, and you got a kid who getting the attention.
Okay, I see. Thank you for putting that out there, because I'm trying to think to myself, how is a single father undesirable?
Who's getting that attention? You got to go lay down your little kid, this, that, and the other, and the girl like, you ain't hugging me, you ain't loving me, because the same thing goes for military people. Military people go out they serve, and it's a very common thing for people in the military to get cheated on by their wives and significant others because they need that attention right here and now because they have no discipline.
I have a perfect example of that. Like, I have a friend. She's talking to a guy who has kids, right? She constantly complains about how he's always doing this, he's always doing that. He's always talking about his kids and whatnot, and it's to be expected. But her issue is with the attention. Like, he doesn't pay enough attention to her. She doesn't know if she can talk to him because he has kids. The fact that he has kids means he wouldn't be able to concentrate his main attention on her. Which kind of ties into what you were saying about, attention in general. And I mean, I guess that applies to any situation where you take it to a baby father or a baby mother. it's the same thing on both sides because guys might not act like it. They attention whores too. They like the attention, and they get irritated when it's like, oh yeah, I want to talk to this girl, but she got kids. Now I don't get her full attention because she's putting her attention into her kids. Now you saw that you want to talk shit about her or anything of the sort.
All right, monogamy versus polygamy,
polyamory,
all
he
that.
said it right. Versus monogamy.
Monogamy versus monogamy. No.
Okay.
What he said.
Which one you want to hit first?
You know what? I want to hit him up first with this question.
Go ahead, yeah.
Because, hey, could you, in any of your relationships or any girl you with, would you be okay with her going on dates? Going on dates. Dates, going out, kicking it.
Can I just
with
take
another
1
man.
second to clarify that dating is not the same thing as being in a committed relationship?
All right.
Dating.
Repeat that.
Dating is not the dating is not the same as being in a committed relationship with someone.
When you say date, what you mean like? You gotta be more specific with me. Like, oh, this guy's like, oh yeah, cause my girl, like, he asked her,
dating.
Oh, let's go out
go
for
out
a cup
on a
of
date.
coffee or some shit like
Whether
that.
it was a man that she knew before you, or she met during talking to you, it's a guy that she likes, or she, in her past, whether she had sex with him or not, can go out somewhere with you not there. That's what I mean by dating. So, like, just kick it with him.
Like, go hang out or something like that, or some shit
Hang
like
out,
that.
Can you be okay with that? We gonna work our way up.
Can I be okay with that?
Let's start on the base level.
I feel like, yes, I could be okay with that for the sense of, if I'm in a relationship with you, that means I have a certain level of trust in you. And with that certain level of trust, I trust you in the sense that even if there was past things with you or with this person or y'all just friends or whatever, I can trust that y'all can go out and do something without me being there and nothing happen.
Hold on, I got another question. So, what if your girlfriend came up to you, hey man, 2 weeks ago, this dude said he was trying to fuck and asked me on a date, and I was like, maybe I would go. Should I go? How would you feel? He was just blatantly trying to fuck.
And your girl asked.
He was like,
well, I feel some kind of way just because you felt that you had to ask me that
I
question.
can't imagine how that would go down. Look, this nigga's thirsty as fuck.
I mean, she has to be careful on her own. She has to make the conscious
okay,
decision.
no.
This nigga,
Like, cause I
every
mean, there's
woman
certain
has to have that
decisions,
mind
there's certain situations
back
where
her head.
you should
She might
just
break.
act like, why you ask me?
No,
You might
different.
try something.
No, I'm sorry. I came out wrong. It's not like, oh, should I? It's, oh no, I'm going on this.
Oh, so she wasn't asking you to go.
She just decides she's gonna make the decision.
Yeah.
Well, for one, if she's going to do it that boldly in a relationship, that means she's not at least considering how.
Right.
I don't think a woman that I would date would not consider it.
Right. Like, I wouldn't be in that
Like,
situation.
Like, yeah, I don't think she would not like, hey, you know what, fuck you. Unless we got some issues and
right. Like,
she's doing it out of spite.
But no, I'm like saying, it's like, how would you feel? Like, not.
She wouldn't, I don't think no woman I would date unless it is out of spite. Like, if you're in a relationship, she's gonna ask or at least see how you feel about it. She isn't gonna be like, hey, fuck you.
Right. It's never just gonna be a situation like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out with this nigga. And
I'm
just
not
gonna
saying,
deal
like,
with it.
Like,
is it possible? Or I'm just saying, how would you feel?
Then she's doing it out of spite.
And then, as opposed to, hey yo, this is my dude friend. Like high school,
she's doing it if she knows that dude's gonna fuck, and she's just saying like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And she's not saying it as in how you feel about it. She's doing it out of spite. There's no other way out of that. Like, you're doing it to hurt me.
So you just say you're doing it out of spite. All right, peace, and leave and go home.
No, I mean, I can't stop her. Like, I mean,
Right. I can't stop
Listen,
you doing what you're
for
doing.
me,
But I'm not gonna fuck with you no more.
like,
Like,
you just
That's
you're
what I'm
trying
saying.
to
The
you're
whole
trying
situation.
no,
That's my
but that's
opinion.
different between I'm trying to hurt you and then I
may possibly hurt.
possibly hurt you. I want you to be safe. I want you to be honest.
I
But it doesn't mean I
put
want
it
you
this
to
way.
be controlled.
I don't like basically everything he said, and to kind of put my experience on it. I encouraged my girlfriend to meet somebody other than me. I was like, look, I said, go find somebody. Go find somebody that's good.
No, I've done that before too. But like, think about this. I had a girlfriend who had nothing but guy friends. Nothing but guy friends.
Hmm.
You had to get over it. Y'all knew her. You can tell. She had nothing but guy friends. Chantel didn't fuck with no females.
Yeah.
Except for CC.
That's not a good sign.
So like it's
she
just a
also wasn't
situation.
interested in fucking with no male.
Not the point, but the thing is, like, she had nothing but guy friends. Even in that situation, it's like, well, even if it didn't come to sex, like, her attention was spread. It wasn't just on me. It was spread between everybody.
Mm.
And I had to deal with her being always around this guy, always around that guy, around this guy, around this guy, around that guy.
Mm.
Not even just necessarily in between us and the friends, in the group of friends, it was other people outside of that.
Mm.
So it was a sense of like I said, if you just trust the person, you know they're not gonna do this, you're not gonna do that. I don't really have a problem with it. I feel like it could be okay if you know the person you're with isn't going to pursue something of the sort.
Right.
For you to have that level of trust, though, you gotta open up not only you gotta have confidence in yourself. You have to open up a window. You can't, because a lot of people are so afraid to hurt the other person. They don't, expose what they're going or their intentions. They keep things hidden, even if it's not even detrimental to the relationship. They feel like it is. So like, I'm not gonna. I tell women constantly, I know you don't want him messing with us. I know that. Shit. But you have to open up a window. If you try, it's like having sand in your hand and you're trying to squeeze it and hold it so tightly, it's still gonna leak.
Yeah.
Or if you open too wide, like, hey, go fuck anybody, go do your thing, then of course it's gonna leak. But if you have a firm grip, and I say how the firm grip is, like, I don't want you messing with other women. And if you do, be safe about it. Don't be shit.
Exactly, yeah.
Be safe about it and be honest about it.
That brings up a very good point.
And if you do that early enough, it is less likely he's not only going to do it, it's less likely he's going to do it behind your back. It's like, I don't want you. It's going to bother me a little bit, but you know what? I don't control it. I know what we have is going to be grander, sexual, momentary action.
Here, point I like to make. I talk to a lot of the old dudes I work with, whatnot. There's a point they like to make. Like, they're all like married and shit like that, but they do their own things on the side. And the point they like to make a lot, like when it comes to like cheating and whatnot, they don't necessarily condone it, but in the same sense, they're like, if you're going to do something like that, don't embarrass her. Don't put it out there for the world to know.
Ooh,
Don't let it be like, it's a whole different situation if it's like, okay, I cheated on you and you found out about it, opposed to me cheating on you and everyone else found out about it.
Exactly, yeah.
Because it makes the whole situation a lot worse. It makes her feel like shit, like trash. Like
she doesn't want to be put in a position where she's gonna have to regret you.
What about established relationships? As far as single pairs or a monogamous relationship a polygamous relationship where has multiple wives, or a wife has multiple husbands. But people are looking for long term anyway.
As far as that's on people, like a lot of people are going to be against it because of their religious views. Because if you're Christian, Christians practice polygamy any damn way. So you're just ignorant.
But I mean, take religion out of it for a minute. Which one works better?
Which one works better depends on the society that you're in and how scrutinized you are, because polygamy is a struggle in America because of what it is. Mm-hmm. And then also it would be practiced because of monetary reasons as well. Only the rich can afford to have multiple wives, but it's a very good, healthy lifestyle for kids, because like, let's say you have a couple wives at work, you have a couple wives that take care of the kids. So now you have a household that has making good enough money and it has healthcare providers and it has providers. It's its own community, exactly.
I mean, because one wife could have, multiple wives, could have multiple professions, multiple husbands.
But then, like, once again, it can't work with too many egos, too many people going, well, I'm the higher commander.
There's an
that's
understanding.
my position.
Insecurities.
Yeah,
It's not relationships is not going to work like that anyway. Even if it does, unless you have people that's matching your level of. You can't have high self-esteem and date somebody with low self-esteem and think it's gonna work. If you're gonna have low self-esteem, y'all both have low self-esteem.
Yeah,
You know, I don't believe in that saying that you attract with who you are. I'm like, no, you keep who you are,
Somebody
but
tried
you
to
don't attract who you
I'm
are.
happy as fuck. I'm like, not to, like, people say if you have to say you're happy. I mean, I'm trying to put that out there for what it is.
Yeah,
I'm an extremely happy person. I've had my sad moments, but I don't consider myself depressed because a bout of depressedness because of something that happens in my life. But there are people who be like, man, he's really happy? You think he's really happy? What does he have? I don't need shit to be happy. That's part of being happy. It's called being content. When you have to be overjoyed all the time, that means you're depressed. If you're really seeking that high all the fucking time, that's because you are really low. I am happy as shit. I don't need shit, and that can affect being content. Can affect ambition, but the reality of it is that I am happy with reaching things that I want to reach when I reach them. I have goals. My goals just aren't what society wants my goals to be.
and not just what they want them to be. It's not at the time limit they say it should be. A lot of problems when it comes to relationships, and from a man's perspective of our women, is that society says you're supposed to have this at this point in time. If not, you're not a suitable for a relationship.
That brings me back to my whole point about what you were asking me about originally. It's not more or less about what I have at this moment in time. It's what I should have at this point. At this point in time, I should have this, this, and that, and that's what suitable to be able to be in this relationship.
Mm.
But seeing as I don't have these things at this point in time, I'm deemed unacceptable.
One
Or I'm looked down upon.
One of the final things I want to ask that I posted on my wall and on my page is that do you feel that a man having a car and a house equals better success with women?
No. I feel like not at all.
I'm leaning more towards no.
I'm gonna tell you why. There's been multiple situations. Yeah, I have a lot of female friends, and I talk to them about their relationships and their situations. And there's been multiple times where, like, one for example, she's like, "Oh yeah, this guy, he has this, he has a house, he has a car, he has a great job, and everything. He meets all those financial standards, but as a person, he was terrible." And what women don't realize, most of the time, when you have a guy who's has all that, they're so used to getting what they want that they treat you like shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they don't realize that, so they shoot for those higher ups. And you get dogged when realistically you have this guy, he's working. He might not be at that financial point. He could even be working towards that financial point, but you ignore him because he's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he will be that guy that'd be perfect for you. But you don't realize that until way later on in life.
He'll be the loyalest nigga in the world. You let him slip by.
And you let him slip by because he wasn't to that point yet, or he just doesn't have it.
To get on that, to clarify, what is success? What is success? Because some people would see that success
that's a good question.
as getting the sex.
Yeah,
Other people would see that success as getting to a
you
higher level of relationship.
If you ask women this, like I'll ask women this, like, what do you think? Do you think a man having a car or his own house equals success with you? And then because we all individually have probably 4-dimensional mentalities of sex. As in, for us, it could be, of success. It could either be sex or, like you said, higher level of relationship. With her, it can be those two things as well. But in my experience with my brothers, it is usually intercourse. But my other brothers that had grander expectations, or not expectations, but things they want out of it, they wanted a relationship, and they said that brings quantity of women as that's bait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got the car, got my own apartment or my own house, which eventually we all want, you know. But I got the bait, but I didn't bring the quality. I just brought the quantity.
Yeah. It's not like, for example, when it comes to me, I don't really care about your financial situation in a sense. It's more about who you are and what you're about. Like I can deal with somebody who might not be there. Like you stated earlier, it's about your ambition. It's about what you're trying to get to in your life.
Yeah, they about something.
Yeah, you have to be about something. If you're about if you're not about anything, you're just
and then it's up to me to determine whether or not that's valuable to me.
Right, I can't really deal with you. But if you're about something, you're trying. You know, you might just need a little help. It's just a little extra harder for you and whatnot. I can deal with that. I might even be able to help you along to get to where you're trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
But in the sense of like, I kind of just.
Well, we're pretty much done anyway.
Yeah.
And I kind of know where you're going though, because our expectations of women are not the same. Dave Chappelle said it perfectly. He was like, the greatest test in life for a woman is material. The greatest test in life for a man is women. As tests, what do we desire and covet the we want women so much. So we accommodate, we do certain things to make sure that we're going to be a suitable partner. You know, generally speaking. And this is why, the only reason why your relationship works out, though, because you don't have a woman who she passed that test. Her test isn't material. So that's why it works out. Yeah. And your test isn't women. So that's why it works out. You passed it.
Yeah, pretty much.
However, even amongst the so-called conscious community, and this is to my conscious people out there that claim they're conscious, we can't compare, especially to our black people, we can't compare ourselves to white middle class people. That's not where we started off. Even if we were making strides to be that, that's not where we are. We're not the bourgeoisie.
Right.
We have our own place we gotta start off.
Need to build together.
We are all we got at the end of the day.
Pretty much.
Shit.
The hell you talking about?
Bougie.
Bourgeois.
Yes.
Bourgeois.
I never put it together until just
Bourgeoisie.
I never put it together.
It's spelled the real way. And if you ask Carl to spell the girl, and for our lives, we're dead. The bourgeoisie is the bougie is a short version. Yeah. And we gonna definitely talk about that in the
Oh yeah, we're gonna come back to this topic. Hopefully, we'll get a female in the rooms to give us a broader perspective.
I don't like girls, so I don't really care about their opinions. I mean, they just gonna say some stupid shit anyway.
Oh hell no! Most likely, but you know what? The best
half the viewers. We only had 2 viewers now.
Damn, it was like, man, I liked him up until he said it. No, damn. I honestly, people will not agree with a lot of shit. Look, I respect women. I just don't like them. I respect women.
They don't like your bitch ass either.
You shouldn't like me.
Right. As always, take American culture with a grain of salt.
Give me a second. Add something.
Go ahead.
No.
If you're bougie, you should go kill yourself.
My final thing, I'm not gonna add anything else. What I was gonna say is that the whole thing about there's a thing rampant in the world about real men, real women. Let's take it. Like if you're not a real man if you don't have a car.
Not.
But or certain shit. There'll be certain shit. Like but once you go over to another country, magically you are a real man because the only real thing you need is like some sort of birthright or whatever. In some places it's just because you
some kind of lineage.
Your testicles grew out. It all depends. So how you and people take it culturally too far, socially too far. I only met a real man by where I live because that's what it considered. So magically, I am not a middleman here, but as soon as I get my ass on a plane and fly over to a place where they consider me a real man, I am. And then once I come back over here, I lose my real man card. So you need to open up your mind about what man or real man is.
To break down on that, it's not really just open up your mind. What they need to do is know the difference between what a real man is,
responsible,
an ideal man, and a good man. Even though I term good, I know it has some levels of subjectiveness, but we have a general
To
concept.
touch on what you
It can
said,
stretch, but we have a general
I mean, the
concept.
word responsible is what we're hitting at here.
To touch
A
on
responsible man, loving man. You learn your adjectives instead of just saying real all the damn time. That don't mean shit. Because everybody has their different definition of real, meaning that they don't know the difference between the word real and the word ideal.
See, here, look. I feel like women, when it comes to men and their ideals of men and whatnot, women fall in love more with the idea of a relationship or the idea of the perfect man than the actual man himself. Like, in their minds, it's more of a...
That's their ideals.
I feel like a man should be this, this, and that. And that's what I'm going to stick to. And that's my idea.
And that is
and
not...
They don't realize...
They can't bend away from that.
And it narrows your options.
That... They don't realize that's not reality until later on in life. Mm-hmm. Until they get older, until they actually go through the experiences with guys and they go through the heartache, the heartbreak, and all the extra shit.
They won't settle, but niggas will settle.
Yeah,
they won't settle in a heartbeat. Niggas be like,
for that exact reason.
She meet one criteria, let's go.
Right.
We made it.
But yeah, like I was saying, I feel like women are more in love with the idea of the perfect man than the perfect man himself.
Mm. At the end of the day, when it comes to the perfect man or the perfect woman, nobody is going to be 100% of what you want or need. However, I may be 85% of what you need. If you're focusing on the 15% of what you don't have, you are never going to be.
Carl is 99.9% of what you want. He only misses one aspect.
And he's a king.
He's also an anal king. So, but you know what I'm saying? This is beer goggles. This is beer goggles. And I'm Black Poe, the drunken philosopher. Whoever this guy is.
I'm Jones, repping 3 guys in a thought.
D-Rex.
Oh, my name's Marcus. I'm the 4th guy.
And I'm the anal king.
I got a job and I'm never done. I love you, girl, but I can't keep one. I can't choose one no matter what.
I see you girls, but I can't choose one. Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo. I got a job and I'm never done. Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo. I love you girl, but I can't keep one. Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo. I can't choose one no matter what. Eeny, meeny, miny, meeny, mo.
I know she attracted to me. I know she wanted. I put it down like a penis poet. I know how to do it to sway my way into a vaginal vortex and do it. However, yes.